All right, it's time to cross the T's and dot the I's for the rest of the week's top stories. And with it right now, there he is, Greg Gutfeld, host of Red Eye on Fox News and the author of The Bible of Unspeakable Truths. Paul Westcott, host of White House Brief, and Lori Rothman, Fox business anchor. Welcome, Lori. Let's start off with this story about the foreclosure mess, and it is a mess. Lawmakers in Capitol Hill are trying to take notice of the improper approval of thousands of foreclosures going on. Nancy Pelosi is calling for a federal investigation. The Ally Bank, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, they're all suspending foreclosures in 23 states until this mess is cleared up. So will this have an impact on the housing industry? Lori, let's start with you. I'm sitting there going, it's one more delay I don't think we're going to recover the housing market until we get all these foreclosures washed through.
It is a no-win situation. It's just devastating. Some are saying this is the biggest scandal related to the financial crisis, as we know, that started 2 years ago, and now this is just coming to a head now. So yes, you're right. The bottoming process of the housing market likely to be drawn out, delayed even further. But people are saying, and there is this investigation now about to begin on people who had crimes committed against them. First, the foreclosures, the lenders, questionable lenders, right? And now the shoddy paperwork and the questionable lawyers who are sick.
Yeah, but Paul, I got to tell you something. Yeah. You know if you haven't paid your house payment.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you don't pay your house payment, the bank says, my house.
Exactly, and the bank takes it over, and that's what we know. I mean, obviously, at this point, my biggest fear is going to be that these home loans and these foreclosures are all of a sudden going to start falling into the laps of the taxpayer, which, when Nancy Pelosi gets involved, is usually what happens. So that's my biggest fear, is all of a sudden they're going to say, well, in addition to going after these companies, we're also going to be bailing these guys out.
Yeah, and Greg, I mean, is this pandering to the, quote, middle class out there, to Main Street America, saying, see, we're going to go after these big bad banks once again because banks are bad and politicians are good?
No, it's ridiculous. The government caused this problem. Now the government's going to investigate the problem, and the government's going to find out it's not the government's fault how it works. The thing is, I think there might be a silver lining to this. You have one huge mortgage mess, and now you have another huge mortgage mess. They're going to cancel each other out. I call it the drunken earthquake syndrome. When a drunk man is walking during an earthquake, it's a straight line. So maybe these two things will cancel out and everything will be okay.
Hey, check this out. President Obama, he was speaking over at the Fortune Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington. Nothing unusual about that, except for he's right in the middle of the whole thing. Kaboom. What? Where'd it go? Where's my seal? Oh, there it is. It fell on the floor. So is this an omen?
It's too obvious. It's too obvious to be an omen.
You think?
It cannot be an omen. Actually, his response was he has great comic timing. I thought this was one of the rare occasions where he came off as incredibly charming, and off the cuff, he let go of the teleprompter. He was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, he did. The TOTUS was on the side. But we're talking about Joe Biden being pushed off, maybe Hillary coming in.
Right.
Who knows what's going on, Paul?
Well, there's lots of confusion right now at the White House. Axelrod's out. Gibbs, is he going to the DNC? Some people think that. You know, what's exactly going to be the situation? So when these sort of things happen, these sort of gaps from the polished Obama of 2009 to now, we've certainly come full circle.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but let's pull up this photo. Now, how about this guy? He has a presidential seal in front of him.
Oh, no.
Oh,
you have my
there
vote.
we go.
What do you think?
You've made a terrific first impression just meeting you. Heartbeat, my vote.
I'm sorry, Tom, no way. The naked cowboy is running, and he's got my vote because he has better hair.
He doesn't have a seal, but you're right, he has better hair.
Speaking of hair, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Even better.
Throwing his name into the
Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
I don't know. Donald Trump and New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg kind of in the same mold to me. And I know Bloomberg kind of tested the water. He didn't resonate as well, right, nationwide. But Trump, with his media, his programs, right, he resonates well across the country.
Greg, you're a comedian, and Trump is too.
No. I just play one on TV. Look, Donald Trump, the rumor of Donald Trump running for president is like a cold sore. Every 6 or 7 months, it comes up, and it bothers you, it irritates you, then it goes away.
Yeah, but is there a medicine for it? That's the
medicine is shame, ignoring him. That's what you do.
He's got charisma.
All right, here's the serious one. Imagine watching your house burn to the ground as the firefighters are standing around looking on, not doing a thing. That's what happened in rural Tennessee to a man last month. He lost everything, his whole home. He had not paid a $75 fee to the county that requires the firefighters outside of the city limits pay in order to have fire service. Meantime, the son who apparently allegedly started the fire by accident. A burn barrel spread 2 hours to the house. He attacked the fire chief, so now he's in trouble. He's been arrested on assault. So,
gosh.
Where do you want to start with this one, Paul?
Well, all in all, I mean, I put this in a segment on my show yesterday called Obama's America. I mean, we had the story of a cop and his wife destroying $1 million foreclosed home, and then you have this story where you see fire departments ignoring people whose homes are burning down. I mean, that's their job. All in all, they're like doctors in that case. They have to respond no matter what. I know he didn't pay his $75 fee, but let's collect it later.
Here's my problem with it. The city of South Union, I think it is, this house was outside the city limits.
Right.
So
And
they say if you live
officials,
close by, you pay us a $75 fee, we'll come take care of your house. But I'm wondering, for the taxes that he paid to the Obion County, where's their fire service? Isn't that kind of basic public safety?
I don't know. It's so upsetting. This story is really sticking with me because they were actually, while the house was burning, from what I've read in reports, checking the list to see if that address was in that jurisdiction. And it's just, I mean, it's common human decency. If you see a house on fire, you do what you can, firefighter or not.
I got to say, though, you know, a lot of people are saying that this is an indictment on capitalism. It's an indictment on libertarianism. It's an indictment on tea parties, on other networks. It's an indictment on gambling. The family gambled and they lost. That's all this story is. It's a shame they were out of the.
But the guy said he just forgot to pay the $75 fee.
You know, maybe so. If I were the fireman, yeah, I would have done it anyway and then charged them afterwards.
I was going to say.
But there is a history to this, and there is a history. They might have done this before. I feel really bad. If I was the fireman, I would have done it. But you got to understand, if we all did this, we wouldn't have a fire department.
But here's the problem. Montgomery County, Maryland, suburb of Washington, D.C., they're going to vote in November, and right now they're being told, you people in Montgomery County are going to have to raise your taxes, or we're going to lay off ambulance drivers. So I'm going, they have all these social programs, but what about the first thing first? How about public safety? We pay our taxes. What do we get in return?
Yeah. If you don't have car insurance and you get in a car accident, do you demand the car insurance afterwards?
Right. Well,
you call them on your cell phone and say,
But it's different levels, too. I mean, this is such a minimal sum we're talking about with the situation in the rural part of the state, $75. And even if they paid a premium or a penalty because they didn't pay it in time after the fact, I mean, good-natured, I'm sure the people would have been so grateful their home was safe, and their pets, for that matter.
What do you get for your taxes? Lori, nice to meet you.
Thank you, likewise.
Greg, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Also the same with you, Paul. I appreciate all three of you coming by.
Your chance to win at Comment Roulette is coming up after the break.